Welcome, guys, to La Barbería La Silla, episode 5. It's Snowfish, co-founder. I'm waiting on my co-host Theo for us to get started. We're gonna play some music. Wait for the music. Wait for the room to fill up. If you're listening to the recording, maybe fast forward about 5 minutes. Be patient with us here. It's Wednesday, December the 14th. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of exciting things happening. So let's wait for people to get in here, and then we'll start it up. There's my guy. How are you, Theo? How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
I'm
morning.
here munching on some breakfast.
Oh, breakfast a esta hora.
I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I eat when my wife feeds me. That's pretty much it.
I hear you. I hear you. Let me know if it is okay with the music or you think. We're just waiting on some people to get in here.
No, it sounds good. Just leave the music playing until people get here. I'll finish my lunch/breakfast here while we wait, and it should be a nice show. I don't know if you can see the drafted tweet that I created on the La Barberia
No,
account.
I can't. I think it's only per device. It saves it on your device.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to hop in to tweet it out when we're ready, and then we can share it to the top. So hopefully it won't boot you off. No, it shouldn't.
Copy.
Like kick you because I'm gonna go into the account. I don't think
No, no,
so.
no, no. As long as you don't jump into the space under the barbershop space, we should be good.
All right, then it should be fine. I'll tweet it out. I don't know, like 20 minutes into like the space,
Yeah.
and then we'll take it from there. Let me invite one red before I forget. One, there she is. Ahí llegó
Llegó
prensa.
prensa, prendido. Están llegando
Con el
ya, están
fuego ahí.
llegando los clientes y los
El
barberos.
gringo, que lo quento. El gringo va para allá en la noche, ¿verdad? Gringo, tú no apareciste el último evento.
Ay,
No sé
ay,
qué
ay,
pasó,
cántaselo,
pero.
tío, cántaselo.
No, estaba esperando ya y no llegó el gringo. ¿Y qué fue? No sé, no sino de una excusa ahí de esa media chapi chapi.
Ya lo sabes, ya tú lo sabes. Diablo, es redes que yo quiero que venga hoy, pero imagínate.
No, y la sorpresa se me ha llevado lo que están aquí hoy ahorita.
Tío, yo voy para allá, tío. 100% yo voy para allá, si Dios quiere. Primero Dios.
Mi gente, hoy es miércoles. Hay muchas cosas que hay que hablar. Hay muchas cosas en los mercados, muchos eventos, mucha vaina. Pero vamos a dejar que lleguen la gente para comenzar a hablar de lo que hay que hablar. Dime, Herrera.
¿Qué es lo que, qué es lo que, güey? Yo no voy a poder llegar, pero el tío, aunque sea que tire una foto ahí, la ponga ahí, de la mía, coño.
Para ponerle en Photoshop.
No, yo vi una foto ahí de prensa recortándote. La voy a tirar arriba para ponerlo a los dos de un tiro ahí para que aparezcan.
Gracias, tío, estamos activos.
Pero, no se desvirtúen de lo que tienen que hablar, porque ahorita se ponen a hablar de un reguero de vaina rara y a la latina le dan banda.
No. Tú sabes que.
El único que le habla
Ay,
mal
ay,
eres
ay, ay,
tú.
ay,
Ten
ay.
cuidado tú como tú hablas.
Ay,
No,
ay,
no,
ay.
Yo no, yo
eso,
sé lo
ella,
que
eso,
tengo que
oye,
hacer.
eso es amor, eso es amor.
Que no me excusan que me estoy comiendo un desayuno slash lonche ahora mismo.
La música está dura para la barbería.
¿Te gusta esa Herrera?
Oye, pasó lo mío.
El de que va para allá esta noche también.
Diablo, no me digan eso. Fuck.
No, ya yo sé que Herrera es un bultero. Herrera dijo, yo voy ahí en diciembre. No aparece por allá. Y mira.
No. Él dijo que para diciembre no iba a
Ya
poder.
cállate, que llegó ella, ya no diga nada, no diga nada.
Que para diciembre dijo que no podía llegar. Pero él dijo que para enero, febrero, definitivamente. Eso ya tú sabes. Dame.
Tú ves, así que se arma un lío de una vez. ¿Qué es lo que es?
Sí, prensa.
Guarda Latina, ¿qué lo que?
Espérate. La estoy
Bienvenida.
subiendo como co-host porque
Buenas
ella es la
tardes,
princesa.
buenas tardes.
Hola, buenos días.
Saludos,
Digo,
One
buenas
Red.
tardes, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Estamos aquí, ya tú sabes.
Terminando desayunito. Mira, One Red, si tú quieres que yo baje a prensa, si te sientes incómoda, tú me
No,
dices, yo lo saco, le paso de una vez.
no,
Just say the word.
no, it's all good.
Mi gente, se me portan bien. Vamos a comenzar un
Ya,
ratico. No deja que par de gente
ni
llegue.
Judas fue tan traicionero.
No, que esa es la princesa. Ese co-host es prensa hoy. Ese co-host. So ya tú sabes.
Ah, mira. One Red, you could just mute him and kick him yourself.
What happened?
Yeah. Yo le
I didn't hear you.
el poder. Si ella quiere tumbarlo a todo, ponerlo en mute, ella lo puede hacer.
Oh my God.
Ey, eso es peligroso, darle poder a una mujer, ¿oíste? ¿Tú ves cómo se quilla ahí?
Peligroso cuando los hombres tienen el poder. Pregúntale al mundo.
No, que siempre ha sido así, en
Yo,
verdad.
that's a bar one, right?
Oh, pero vamos a recordarnos, señores, prensa especialmente, que hoy es un highlight series. So llegará un punto donde vamos a enfocarnos en las preguntas para One Rat, de su experiencia aquí en este espacio, su carrera y algo bien importante que ella me mencionó que es importante para ella hablar de la disabilidad con cual ella vive y quiere expresar educación para ver si puede ayudar a otra persona más en el futuro que tal vez esté batallando con algo similar.
Amén.
So we're gonna get with a couple more minutes, let's just Snowflake's gonna put up the music a little longer, see if we have more people come in. Give One Rat a second to settle down. If anyone has a question for One Rat relating to what I just mentioned, you're welcome to go ahead and ask when we tell you. But let's try to keep the conversation, on topic and not try to divert too much from One Rat and her experience here in the States. I would really appreciate that very much. One Rat, me excusa que I'm finishing up my breakfast. That's it. I'm about to.
No, it's okay. Esta música
I'll get
is
it ready.
giving me flashbacks.
Oh, tell me about it. Don't tell me you were like me in the early 2000s,
Oh
enjoying the days,
man, everywhere, in
running
todos los
around the
clubs
city.
in Dykeman.
Oh, man, I used to be in a car club, like one of those racing clubs in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yo,
So we used to
wait.
just run all around the city.
Wait. One rat. Every time Theo says this story, he's like, I used to be in one of those car clubs in the Bronx. But he doesn't say which car club in the Bronx was
I
it.
can tell you the name, Team
Interesting.
Revolution.
Oh,
I'll tell
okay.
you. And this is a great point, I'm happy to say.
Habla.
So it was, the name of the car club was Team Revolution, and we were part of the Rough Rider division.
Oh,
So we used to
wow.
ride around the city with a Rough Rider vest and go
Oh,
to the car club. It was really nice because Rough Riders, of course, they mostly were known for being on motorcycles, but they did sponsor car clubs within the city, and they will allow you to buy the vest and just represent. It was really nice.
oh, that's
Good
nice.
time. Good
Usually
memories.
the clubs in the Bronx it's usually motorcycle clubs. Like I know a few people. that are like in motorcycle clubs up there. But there are some car clubs, and that's cool that they let you like join and compartir. And that fucking Rough Rider shit was so cool back in the day. Times
Yeah,
is
that's
so
what.
different now.
Yo, when he used to say that, I was like, that's a big deal. Rough Riders was big
That's
back in
a
the day.
Yeah, they still like. I wouldn't say they're still big now, but they made such an impact in the hip hop
Yeah,
culture that it's like
yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm all with you on one rat. Rough Rider back then and even now. I don't know if they still sponsor car clubs today because I'm talking about like 20,
I
30 years
haven't
back.
seen a Rough Rider mixtape in at least a decade.
Well, we all know that the late great DMX did pass away
Yeah,
last year, I believe. So that was a big hit because he was the basically the poster child of that movement, and I'm a big fan. He
yeah,
got me through many tough times in
mm,
my life when I was young. I felt like his music was like a father figure talking to you, especially those of us who maybe didn't have one around. I really gravitated to hip hop to kind of get some wisdom and knowledge of what was going on in the world. So I definitely owed a debt of gratitude to DMX for all his guidance because if you listen to his lyrics, you can tell he's trying to walk you through what you may go through as a black or brown man, and
is a yep.
lovely.
And he has such a I don't want to say a tragic life, but he had a really hard one. And I think like at least he got to experience some good. And it's just it's tragic now because we saw it in real time, like him coming up and him going through every struggle that's fucking possible in a way. And his music was so, to me, it wasn't a father figure type of thing. It was more like to get all my anger out when I was listening to his music. And a lot of people don't talk about what a great actor he was. Like he was a really, really good actor. And it's really sad that happened. It was like Tupac. Tupac was another one that was a fucking fantastic actor. I was just listening to a podcast about the shooting, his shooting and his death, and I was just reliving that time too. And it just sucks that we lose all these artists, all these people that change our lives in different ways. People we never meet, but through their art, they change us. They help us grow, and then we see them get taken away tragically through all these crazy circumstances that wouldn't be befalling them if they weren't black and brown. So yeah, I love DMX. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought him up.
No. Yeah. Listen. I really, really, at a very young age, depended on hip hop. And I was one of those kids that would, have his Walkman and his CD and would try to get all the albums when they came out. And I was rocking, either Eminem, DMX, Biggie, like you said, Tupac, many of the greats. And that was my experience going to school, as walking to high school and walking back. As an
Yeah.
introvert, it was myself and my headphones. So
I was gonna say those
they
headphones save lives, yo. Those fucking headphones. Oh, I can't live without mine, especially the over-the-ear ones. That's actually a way for you to center yourself when you're overstimulated, when you're neurodiverse. So it doesn't surprise me that you would, because a lot of us are neurodiverse, and people still don't know that they are. And it's so funny because when I talk to someone, I know automatically like, oh, you're autistic, or you're ADHD, and it's one of those things. The headphones thing is like one of those big markers of neurodiversity, because sometimes you can get so overstimulated that you do have to like hide yourself away from the world. But because a lot of us can't, we find like different things that we can use to like quiet the world down. So like I used to think I had really bad hearing because when I was growing up and before volume control existed, I used to put my headphones up to the highest it could go just so I didn't have to hear the world around me as I was taking the train, going to school and stuff. Um, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought real quick. That's the
no, yeah, no,
ADHD.
I was gonna agree with you. Me, the same. I used to ride on the subway every day. That was the first half of my life up until maybe my early 20s, I would ride everywhere on the subway and the bus in New York City. And yeah, it's an experience. You're in there. There are so many faces. Everyone has their own personality,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's to themselves. And you rarely have these moments, but you always have your headphones and that with you to take the ride. So that's great. And these things save lives. And I always say music, and especially
Yeah.
these artists of our time, like I said, Biggie, they're not with us, but these are the prophets of our time. Like these individuals are going to be looked at 100 years from now like prophets, like
Yeah.
Jesus or Muhammad. And I say that why? Because they're at the beginning of hip hop, and we're seeing how hip hop is spreading in every way, and we're seeing derivatives like reggaeton and dembow that derives from that, and how big it is now around the world. So I just see hip hop just growing in every way, and these individuals who gave us so much, and we were lucky enough to see them while they were alive and hear them and
Yeah.
kind of identify with their music, but they won't be forgotten.
I think
Their
like
work
that
is
about
awesome.
I think like that about Big Pun because I was so lucky enough
Yes, big
to
fun.
oh
I
what
couldn't
I
think
was
of his
lucky enough to
name
be in
now.
that
My brain is
era. I'm sorry. It's just I got excited because I was lucky enough to live like I was a regular at Jimmy's Brown's Cafe back in the day. So it's like I got to see all of that and oh shit, I got to see all of that and be there with these people. So it's absolutely true what you say because you go back and you listen to a lot of their music, all these people, and it still resonates right now. Not just because they were talking about their environment, and a lot of us are still and are from that environment, but because they are when you live in the fringes of like society or you live in places where are not considered not normal but like good or whatever, you get to see the real face of the world, so you can kind of like pattern guess where things can go. And a lot of these artists are neurodiverse, and a lot of neurodiverse people are really really good at finding patterns. That's why a lot of people who are neurodiverse draw or work in careers where patterns are involved, stocks and bonds. A lot of people who are into NFTs are probably into it because they're able to follow all the patterns of all the different crypto coins and stuff. So I definitely believe that they are a kind of prophet because I don't believe any people can see into the future, but I do believe forecasting the future based on patterns of the past. So hell yes.
Yeah, maybe I used the wrong word by saying prophet, but I
No,
meant
it's a
well,
perfect word because it means
yeah.
to forecast the future. So it's a perfect word. It's a word that's used a lot in religion, and it's politicized, and it's made to make people angry, and it divides people. But in the context that you're using it, it's absolutely 100% true.
Thank you. Yeah, I've thought about them that way. And you know what that was funny? I tell myself us millennials or people that are in that category are also pretty special in the context of humanity and its history, right? Because
Yeah.
we're in an era, right? This new millennium, right, that just turned the 21st century. But also, there's so much happening in history right now, and the turn of technology, we're the first ones to experience the smartphones and really test it out for, and who knows what's going to happen 100 200 years from now. But this time right now, these last 30 years are key to the rest of humanity's history and technology. So I just feel, and I told myself this in the past, because I always had these crazy ideas and I shared with my friends in the past, but I always told myself that millennials are going to be a sort of profit group, right, for the rest of humanity. Like moving
Mm-hmm.
forward, humanity's gonna look back and think about this time, and they're gonna think about millennials and what we did to shift history. And I think we're doing it now. And I don't want to exclude any other generation, but it's just our category is millennials, and
Well,
it's pretty cool.
we're a generation. It's funny because I'm on the cusp of like Generation X and the millennial generation because it's such a weird way to gauge a generation's by that time span because it's weird. But, we are the generation that is, where we're old enough to remember things how they used to be without being too entrenched in even more of the past politics and stuff like that. But we're still young enough where we can work in spaces and in politics and in a bunch of other places with still understanding the current situation, because politicians that are on right now, like politicians that have power and stuff, they're usually in their 60s. So millennials are in their 40s, they're in their 30s, they're not in their 20s anymore, but they're in their 30s and their 40s, and that's the time when people usually really find themselves as people and start really making changes in their lives and in the lives around them. In the Roman era, in the time of Julius Caesar, you weren't considered a full-grown adult man until you were 30. Before then, you couldn't even get lands. There was a couple of titles that you couldn't get. You couldn't join certain things until you were 30 years old. And it's kind of still like that. People don't really start getting a foot in the door of life, I think, period, until you've reached 30. So our generation would be the generation that can cause a lot of change, and it can do a lot of good and it can do a lot of bad, because our generation is also very savvy. We did see the change from analog to digital, so we know how to understand all the systems around us, because a lot of us also helped build them, since a lot of people got into coding when it was really early on, and they had the access to it. They're the ones that build all the systems around us. People don't understand, for example, Amazon Web Services runs a lot of everything that we use. And the people that built that aren't people who are in their 70s. They're our generation. And those are things that completely change the world around us. So I definitely think that millennials and that last tail end of Generation X they don't get spoken about very much, and they should, because they also saw a lot of the change, but they were also present for a lot of the things that we didn't see, are what's gonna make things different. It's why I think the NFT and the whole Web3 thing is being adopted. I don't think it's because of Gen Z or what is it, not Gen Z. I forgot where we at now in the generations, but I think it's...
I get confused all the time. I think it's Y.
Oh, why? Okay. I don't even know anymore, yo. So, but I think that our generation is the generation that got it to where it is now, because they're the generation that owns those companies and has those funds and has the, how do I say, the vision to see it, because we were able to see that shift. So I'm an artist, right? So in the art world, there are galleries that still have no vision for how to display digital art. And then those galleries are usually owned by people in their 60s and their 70s. That's who owns those galleries. But if I go to a gallery, which I just went to a gallery recently to look at the space, that gallery is owned by a millennial, and that gallery has screens and does Web3 conferences and stuff like that. So that shows you how what you're saying is correct, that is the generation to move things forward, because they're the generation that understands that things will change. Of course, there's pushback from people in our generation too, but a lot of that always depends on the circumstances, I believe, that you were raised in, the country that you were raised in, because, cultural differences will make you see the world completely different from someone else, and technology as well. So, yeah.
No, great point.
Wow.
Go ahead, Snowfish. I know
Yeah, you guys.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Let's do a little reset. You guys came in hot. I love it. I love the energy. I love the alpha. That we can't get into Rough Riders and all these great legends that gave us a voice.
It's all about one
Yeah,
rat today.
they gave us a voice, for us growing up in certain communities, and inspired us to kind of, look outside the block, right? Like look outside what your surrounding is, and speak about your struggles and how, necessarily that wasn't the end point. So I love that. I love the energy. I just wanted to reset real quick before we start. Um, this is history in La Barbería because one rat is actually the first female to sit in La Silla.
Oh shit!
And
And I
not
cut my
only
own
that,
hair.
and she cuts her own hair. And not only that, she is Dominican and Puerto Rican. So
That's right. De Santiago de los Caballeros.
Well, that's where my family's from as well. De Platanal.
Facts. We're from El Ensanche Bolívar en Pueblo Nuevo.
Ay, pues, yo no salgo de Pueblo Nuevo, la familia mía está allá siempre. Cuando yo viajaba a la República, allá, que mi mamá me llevaba a Santiago, donde se hacían los coritos era en Pueblo Nuevo, tú sabes, en Jengo. No sé si tú conoces a
Yo,
Jengo.
la mitad de Pueblo Nuevo es primo mío. That's so funny. That is so hilarious. Es que Santo Domingo's
Oh,
like
man.
that too.
I think you sound like somebody I know as well, or like maybe a cousin that you have. I don't know.
A million cousins. And the thing is that a lot of people from that area, they live in Dykeman, which is so funny because a lot of people from El Cibao, they do live in Dykeman.
We took over Washington Heights. That's all I can say.
That's facts too.
Nah, because I was raised by my mom, and my mom is from El Cibao. Like I said,
Me
originally
too.
from Platanal. Most people don't know where Platanal is because it's very remote, And but my dad's side, my dad is from San Cristobal, from la capital. So I kind of visited both sides, and I got a little bit of both sides.